I have a question for you, and you're always optimistic. I know this, but a couple games ago, we had won, I think, 3 out of 11.
It's 6-1 in the 8th.
6-1 in the 8th. It's looking bleak, right? You're playing a team that's kind of running away with the division. Again, it's early. It feels silly to say that, but you're a situation where this is how my mind works, Mike. All right, we're 6 back here. If we lose this one looks like a loser. I think the win probability was 99%. So then we're 7. And we're looking at, if we lose a series because I'm playing well, we're looking at 9 back in middle of April. Did you ever allow that to enter your mind?
Well, when you're 6-1 in the 8th, you're obviously we've never in the history of the Nationals came back from a 6-1 in the 8th.
Right.
Deficit before. So, yeah, I mean, you're thinking about tomorrow, and you're hoping to string a few things together. Anything can happen in the game. But I just disagree with the original premise. April baseball, it's a big series for April baseball. That's how I look at it. It's a big series for April, as big as it gets in April. But it's April, and we play these guys 16 more times throughout the season. We haven't begun to gel with some of the new players. We have the new bench. We have the new coaching staff. We have the new manager. And don't forget, you've got your 3 of your best players that aren't in the lineup. So you're scratching together a lineup with Moses Sierra hitting 5th, and Michael Taylor and Defoe and Severino and the pitcher. That's your final 5 hitters in the lineup. And hey, we're trying to get our footing here. We're trying to play good baseball. We're trying to scratch out some runs, allow our great pitching and our great bullpen to keep us in games, and our big boys to carry us. And Harp has carried us along with Howie Kendrick in the early going, and we're just trying to scratch together some victories till we get our real lineup in there. So that's my thought process, in that game, and it was a great comeback to just stay in the game and to play as hard as they did. It's been brutal weather everywhere. Except for about 2 games that we played. I mean, everywhere in baseball. We're not excuse making here, but it's terrible conditions to play the game of baseball in, and these guys, to their credit, they didn't give up. Down 6-1 in the 8th against a good bullpen of the Mets, and we grinded out some really, really good at bats. Allowed their pitchers to open the door and let us in the game by walking guys and hitting guys. But don't forget, we got some big base hits in that thing. Harp got drove in 2. Defoe with a huge hit. Reynolds with a great at bat. Severino with a big hit. So there were some big hits from some unlikely. We won a game that we probably shouldn't have. We've lost a couple of games that we probably should. That we shouldn't have lost. So they all even out, and we're just, like I said, we're just trying to grind away and play some good baseball. And last night I think was probably the cleanest, best baseball game that we've played so far this season. And a really brutal night to play, man. It had to be in the 20s. Those guys are wearing sweatshirts and gloves and hats and earmuffs on the field, and good, clean game, and continues.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the fans aren't going to cry for the players because they're making so much money, but, Anthony Rizzo talked about it yesterday from the Cubs. It's just got to be brutal to play. And, when I just go watch my daughters play softball, and they're playing 7-inning games, and they're like an hour and a half. I'm thinking, oh, my God, these girls are just miserable. And I can't think of a year, and I could be totally wrong on this, where so many games were impacted by weather. I understand that the season started a little bit earlier, Mike, with the March 29th. But can you remember a year where so many games have been canceled or postponed or delayed or were impacted by snow? I mean, it seems like there's 3 or 4 a night. It's crazy.
It really is. There's a lot of teams that have canceled a lot of games. We haven't, knock on wood, and we're lucky about that because these games will pile up, and you've got to make them up. For other teams have lost 4, 5, and 6 games of the season already, which are going to have to be made up later in the year, which means, eliminating us days off or playing doubleheader and grinding away, in the heat. So, it's been. I really can't remember such a start weather-wise. you're right. Nobody should feel sorry for the players, but it's just difficult to play. I think that because of the weather conditions, you're seeing these tweaks and to hamstrings and sore arms and stuff, because this game wasn't meant to play in 26-degree weather with wind chills, and you could see that you could see the quality of play, possibly because of it.